This is going to be the Hillbilly Herbals number 3 video. And in this one I'm going to show you how to make an oil and a salve. And you'll need a double boiler for this. And I'm going to put a half a quart of water in the bottom. And you'll need to check this water as you're going. But I'm going to go ahead and put that at a boil. Once it's boiling, I'm going to turn the water down probably to medium, because I just want it to be simmering. I don't want a full rolling boil, just a good simmer. So I'll be back when that happens. Okay, I got the water to where it's just a real slow boil, and in the top part of the boiler pan I have some herbs that are good for joint and muscle pain. And herbs are simple, because all you have to do is find a couple that are for whatever ailment you're having. If you're making a wound salve, you know, get yourself 3 or 4 herbs that are good for wounds. Joint pain, muscle pain, get yourself 3 or 4 that are good for joints. In here is some ginger, and I can never pronounce it right. I say it Echinacea, but I know that's not right. St. John's wort and cayenne. A little bit of cayenne. And I'm going to put this over top, and I'm going to take some olive oil. And I'm sorry if the camera goes off focus. My oil's not opened. I gotta try to open it. It is really hard to open something with one hand. Try to get a hold on it. Okay. I'm just going to put enough oil on this to just coat them. To just go a little bit above where the herbs are. Once you see them herbs start floating, you got enough in there. Now this is the time consuming part, because it's going to take an hour or longer for these herbs to be done. You don't want to cook them, you don't want to burn them. So you want to make sure that that water underneath is just at a slow simmer. You don't want to boil the herbs. And let me get a spoon. Try to show you the color of the oil. I hope that's showing. It's just a regular olive oil color. And what's going to happen is, depending on what herbs you use, that oil is going to turn a dark brown or green color, and you're going to be able to smell the herbs coming out of the oil. That's when it's done. That's when your oil's done. And if you're just using the oil, you'll strain the herbs off, put the oil in a container, and you're done, as a massage oil or something. But we're going to take these and make them into a salve. This is for joint or muscle pain. It's even worked on, my husband thought he had like tennis elbow, and it got rid of that. So this is really good. I'll be back when the oil's done, and we'll go from there. Okay, this oil's done. Another thing that's going to happen is the herbs are going to get heavy. You're going to feel when you reach down in there and stir that the herbs are heavy. And it's a green color. You're probably not going to be able to see it on there. But you can smell the herbs. So I'm going to take this and strain it. And I just use a coffee filter I bought from the dollar store. And we're just wanting to get all the oil out of the herbs. Now I had to put water in that pot 2 more times. So you really want to watch that so it doesn't get empty. Okay, we had the batteries die. I just strained the oil and I left it sit here to make sure all the oil got out of the herbs. And I'm going to measure this out. And for every cup of oil that you get, you want a 1/4 cup of beeswax. And it looks like I don't have quite a cup of oil. So we're at about 3/4 a cup of oil. And dump that in the pot. And I'll put almost all of the 1/4 cup of beeswax. I'm just going to leave like a 1/4 of this out of it. And we're just going to stir this around until the beeswax melts. I have it on medium-low heat. And once the beeswax melts, I'm going to take a spoonful of this, put it on a plate, and put it in the freezer for 2 minutes. That's how you're going to check the consistency of your salve. And if it's too solid, then you want to add a little bit more oil. And you can add just plain olive oil if you don't have more of the herbal. If it's too soft, too runny of a salve, then you want to add more beeswax. So after this is melted and I get a spoonful of it put in the freezer, I'll come back and show you the consistency that it should be. Okay, this is what it looks like after it's been in the freezer. You want to be able to push your hands through it and move it around, but you want it to be solid enough to where it's not going to run. Okay. So you want to store this salve either in a tin like this with a lid or a dark jar. I usually fill up the tin and then I'll put the rest in. This is just a yeast jar. So I'm just going to fill this up. About halfway. I let this oil get too hot. That won't affect it. And that's it. You got your oil. And you can use salves mainly you're going to use for like wounds or muscle and joint pain, stuff like that. And just be careful because it can get very hot. So that's the oil and salve part, and I'll just do pictures and stuff or give you some recipes. Start on those 20-some recipes that you can use with the dozen herbs that I put up in the last video. Thanks for watching.